All right. So again, happy Thursday. Thank you for completing the pen tool exercise. No, so at least it allows you to work not only with the pen tool but also the basic shapes. No, so plus yung stacking order. No, trying to analyze how you can come up with that kind of artwork. So good job. No. Today, what we're gonna cover is manipulating artwork. Okay, so what are the other things na we can do, no, with the objects that we create? Okay, so we'll cover rotate and reflect commands, no, at saka yung transform again, and then we have the envelope distort, blending tool, no, and then how do we actually apply an effect, no? So we're gonna have a challenge here. So it's gonna be like a take home, no, a take home project. So we're gonna start with um, just having a quick review on the tools na we have covered so far, right? So based on the last 3 days, no, so we're already familiar with the selection tool, no? The direct selection. Hindi pa natin nagagamit yung lasso at group selection. We were able to use the pen tool yesterday and up to kanina. And also the anchor point tool, no? We've seen how we use this or when do we actually use this. Now, beside this, no, dun sa pen tool, if you'll notice, kung binasa niyo yung instructions for the monster, may binanggit din na curvature tool. So, this is a new tool. Kung pen tool, ang ginagawa natin is click, 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 and sometimes we click drag to create a curve. No? Ang behavior ni curvature tool is pang tamad. So, ang gagawin niya is click on the third button or the third point. Gumagawa siya automatic ng curve for you. Yun yung difference. Okay. So, ayan. Automatic siyang naggagawa ng curve. Okay. Okay. So, when you simply click on an area on the third point, it creates that curve. Kung ayaw nyo, okay, you just double click on the point para umano siya, from curve to corners ang gagawin niya to straighten the line segment or the path. Alright? Yon, no? So, what else did we cover? So, we've demonstrated and used some of the tools under the basic shapes, no? We demonstrated the three drawing tools then, which are the paintbrush, blob brush, at saka yung pencil. Okay? We haven't covered this. This is gonna be tomorrow, no, on the last day. And then at one point, I showed you yung rotate, no. Under rotate, there are also other tools, no. So these are the ones that we're gonna start with in terms of introducing the new topic. No, we covered yung eraser and scissor, right? And of course, the shape builder tool. We're gonna cover this tomorrow, yung gradient tool. Eyedropper, we already used that. With tool, we'll demonstrate it now. And then blend later. No? And then this two buttons over here, which is the artboard tool at saka yung zoom and hand tools. No? Ngayon, for every path that you create, guys. So let me just close this. Okay. Meron niyang attributes, no? So, meron niyang attributes. So, there are two parts of every object that you have in, or every path that you have in Illustrator, no? There are two parts of every path that you can color or apply color. So, yesterday we were able to try that as well as just earlier with the, what do you call this, the pen tool exercise, right? So, two parts. One is called the stroke. Okay, the stroke. So, yan yung outline ng any path that you create in Illustrator. And then you have the fill color, which is inside. Okay. In Photoshop, meron tayong something similar to this. 'Di ba? So, ano ba yung tinatawag dun sa dalawang kulay na nakikita natin? Normally sa toolbar ng Photoshop, Patty. Do you remember?
Nag-walkthrough po ba kayo, ma'am?
I think
Oo.
yung Google Chrome yung nakikita po namin.
Oh my God! The entire time? Oh my God.
Akala ko po mabagal ang internet ko so di ako nagre-react.
Okay. So, the entire time, expand ako ng mga tools dito, ganyan.
Ini-imagine ko.
Ini-imagine nyo lang. Okay. Grabe. Sige, sige. Okay. So, ito. So far, na-cover natin, diba? Selection tool, direct selection. Underneath, hindi pa natin na-cover. So, later, we'll discuss that, no? Pen tool, anchor point. Okay. So, yan, na-cover natin yesterday. Yung curvature tool, pangtamad. Okay. So, ito yan. Okay. On the third button, gumagawa siya ng curve. Ganyan siya.
Oh.
Okay. Kaya pala si Raf nakatingin lang sa baba.
Nahanap ko po, sabi ko, nasaan na kayo?
Pag pen tool, 'di ba, by default, parang dire-diretso lang yung paths niya. Between 2 points, it creates a straight line. Ganyan. Pero you drag para magkaroon ng curve. Yan. Kaya ang curvature tool, pangtamad. So kung gusto mo talagang curves na right away, use the curvature tool. So on the third point, gumagawa na siya ng curves. Yan. Pero pag nag-double click ka sa point, nagiging straight. Ganon. So parang reverse naman ang behavior ni curvature tool. Okay. So bagong tool lang siya. Alright. Okay. We covered ito, diba? Yung shapes. We also did a demonstration of how paintbrush, blob brush, at saka pencil works. Ano ulit yung difference ni blob brush between the two, among the three? Bakit naiiba si blob brush? Patty?
Yung po ba yung parang makapal?
Yes. It creates a closed path.
Closed path.
Closed path siya. Okay. As opposed to this. Okay. So, pag nag-check tayo nung path niya mismo, yung outline niya, ganyan siya. Closed path. Okay. Alright. So, we'll cover yung type tool tomorrow. We did a quick, parang I use this once dun sa basic shapes, yung rotate tool. So, we'll cover the rest and how they work. And then, yung mga cutting tools natin, eraser tsaka scissors, right? Shape builder, of course, we were able to use that. Eyedropper. Gradient, will cover that when we start coloring, which is tomorrow. Blend tool, later, we'll cover. Width tool. Okay, so width tool, all right, allows you to, if you have a path, okay, the width tool allows you to adjust, no, as if brush stroke siya. Okay, so if you create a path using the pencil or a pen tool, you may use the width tool to try and parang make your stroke more artistic looking. Okay? You can create yung parang medyo calligraphic, no? So, let's say gagawa ako ng heart. So, gagawa ako ng heart. Tapos, gusto ko i-stylize pa siya further. No? So, yan. Click, drag ka along the path.
Ooh.
Yan. So, ganyan yung gagawin niya. So, parang gumagawa ka ng sariling brush stroke, right? Or brush style. Okay. So, it only works with drawings basta hindi paintbrush ang ginamit. Okay. Yan. Basta hindi paintbrush ang ginamit mo. Yan. Click drag yung motion niya along the path. Okay. So, ayan. So, that's how the with tool works. Yon. So, it's also a nice tool to use. Okay. And then, of course, we covered artboard tool, hand and zoom tool. No? So, for every path that you create in Photoshop, meron niyang dalawang attributes which you can apply colors on, no? But not limited to colors. But there are two parts of an object that you can color. One is your stroke, no? Stroke. And then yung inside of any object would be your fill. Okay? So in this case, it's this one is the stroke and then this one is the fill. Meron kang something similar na nakikita sa parang related din sa colors sa Photoshop. Ano yung dalawang yun? Itong part na to. Di ba may parang ganyan din sa Photoshop?
Yes.
Ano, naalala niyo ba kung ano yung dalawang yun?
Background.
Ano nga,
Raf?
hindi po, ano nga po ulit, yung ano yung feature na yun na, I mean, yung sinasabi niyo po sa Illustrator.
Eto, sa Illustrator, meron kang stroke and fill. Nakikita natin yun sa toolbar. Sa Photoshop, meron ka ring something similar. No? Di ba yung parang dalawang box na may kulay? Nabanggit na ni Patty yung isa. Background yata yung binanggit mo, Patty, right?
Opo.
Foreground, yung isa?
Yes. Oo,
Ayun,
foreground. So, may foreground, background ka, right? Sa Illustrator, meron kang makikita rin, parang dalawang box na yun. Similar din. Pero, in this case, it's stroke. So, stroke for the outline of any object that you have. You're applying color to. And then, you have the fill. Yan ang very common. No? So, fill and stroke. Fill is always yung inside of a shape. Nakikita nyo naman yung Illustrator ko, di ba?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, yun. So, you have the stroke and the fill. Alright. So, almost introduction na to for tomorrow. Okay. So, for stroke and fill, okay. So, you can, in this section, no, you can swap them where kapag may nakikita tayong ganito, ibig sabihin wala kang ina-apply na color. So, none yan. Okay. Meron kang, yung swap the stroke and fill. So, pinagbabaliktad niya yung color between the fill and the stroke. Okay. This small button over here is the default fill and stroke, which is black and white. So, white as the fill and stroke, black on the stroke. Okay. Whatever, when you're trying to apply colors, you have to make sure na you put on top what you're changing. Okay? Like ito, ang active niya is stroke. So, ito yung papalitan niyang kulay. Pag ito ang kinlik mo at siya'y nakalutang, ito naman yung makukulayan mo. Okay? So, ganun siya. Alright. Okay. Now, itong section na to, itong part na to where you can select between stroke and fill, that is also available on your control bar. So, ito yan, yung two boxes over here. And I think either Patty or Raf, dalawa lang naman kayo. One of you, I saw na you change also the opacity here. No? So, yan, you can change the opacity. You can also change the color. So, this one is more or less similar in Photoshop, diba? Yung color panel or palette. So, ito is none. Okay. So, pag walang kulay. Okay. And then the rest you can choose. Alright. So, ito rin siya. Okay. For fill color naman. Alright. Okay. Alright. Now, what else do we need to know about the... Ay, bakit ba? Ba't ko kinlose yung toolbar? Tada! Okay. So, break natin siya. Alright. Okay. So, what else have we learned in the last 3 days, no? So, meron tayong, when you right-click on an object, meron tayong context menu that appears. No? Depende kung ano ang status or object that you select, mag-a-appear yung mga options natin that may be applicable to us. Okay? So, meron tayong clipping mask. So far, we've tried yung make compound path, right? So, yung having 2 objects overlapping and then choose the make compound path para it behaves like a single object. Now, this option is also available under the object menu. So you go to object and then make compound path. Okay, and then make. If you want to undo it, no? Let's say tomorrow biglang nagbago ang isip natin and we want to change the compound path into just 2 individual or separate objects, then we can just select the object, go to object, and then compound, and then release. If not, you can just right-click on it, and then imbis na may compound path, meron niyang release compound path. Right? Okay. Another thing that we learned in the last 3 days was about layers, right? Or grouping objects, no? So, pero yung group hindi pa masyado. So, we'll discuss those. Yung arranging, no? Arranging the objects. Ilalagay ba natin siya sa likod? Ilulutang ba natin siya sa ibabaw, no? Ibabalik ba natin siya sa ilalim or yung mga ganon. We tried doing that by using the properties panel. So again, I just want to emphasize now when you right click on an object, you also have a way to arrange it. No? Choosing the arrange option here in the context menu. And then you have front, forward, backward, at saka back. Okay. All right. And that would also update in the layers panel. You'll see na it will move then. All right. Now, another thing na we tried doing or I instructed you to try out, if you don't want an object no, to move, okay, ang sabi ko sa inyo is i-control to nyo. Right? Para hindi siya mag-move. Right? When you select the object, control to. That basically locks the object. So it's the same behavior as putting a lock symbol over here for that particular object. But it's a shortcut, no? It's an easier way to lock an object. Lalo na kung na-select nyo na naman. Tapos yun yung gusto mong i-lock. So, control to. Okay. And it puts that symbol there. Alright. Now, under object, no, meron ka rin lock option dito. Unlock natin. Select object and then lock. Nandyan din siya. Ito siya. Control 2. Okay. Yan. And then, you have 2 other options to lock object. So, pwedeng, ito sinelect mo, pero may 4 ka pang objects. Pwedeng, lock mo lang all artwork above this object. Yan. No? Or, lock the other layers. Kung nasa layer 1 ka, tapos meron kang layers 2 and 3, ang gagawin niya, ilalak naman niya yung 2 and 3. Kasi nandito ka sa layer 1. Okay, so useful yan. Alright. Meron ka ring shortcut for unlocking all the layers or all the objects. Okay, so eto siya. Alright. Now, especially with the example yesterday, no? So, let me just open the pen tool. Ito. no? Where we have some elements that would be highly recommended to group. So for example, you want to move the entire monster alone, no? And you want to click drag to move it, no, from one point in the space to another point in the space. So when you do that, there are instances where pwedeng may mga ibang items ka ma-select o may kulang kang parts ng monster na naiwan, no? So yung mga ganong cases, let's say just for demonstration, I have three objects here. You can select all of them and then right click and then group, right? So ito yung ginawa natin, group, okay? So tingnan natin undo. All three objects, if I take a look at my layers panel, ayan may blue. Ibig sabihin, ito yung tatlong objects na selected. If I right click and then group, tingnan mo yung layers panel. Naging group siya. Okay. Lalabas siya dito as a grouped object. So when you move around, no? Okay. Then you can move it as a group of objects, as a single group. Then you can ungroup. So pag in-ungroup, ayun, nag-expand na siya in your layers panel, no? For grouping, it's also here. Meron naman din tayong shortcut key which is Control G. Okay, Control G. And then to ungroup, ayan, Shift Control G naman. Okay. Or just right click and then use the group or ungroup option. Okay. Question so far? Wale? Okay, good. All right. So in our next exercise, yan, okay. Let me introduce to you the power of transformation. Yes. In Adobe Illustrator. Yes. So the power of transformation. All right. Okay. So let's say I have an ellipse tool. A rectangular shape pala. A rectangular shape. Okay. And then if I use the rotate, okay. Ang key sa rotate at saka there's two, no? Rotate, you have rotate, you have scale, you have reflect, you have shear pala. So all four, okay. So for rotate, basically ang rotate is para umikot siya, right? So if I click on this tool and then click here, ito yung point of rotation niya. So yan yung center, parang push pin, no? Tapos iniikot mo yung papel na rectangular shape. Okay, so ganyan siya. Alright. Ayan siya. Okay. Now, kung ilalagay ko somewhere here, no, if I click here, okay, using the rotate tool, no, so you're telling Illustrator na, hey, I want to rotate this object, no, around this point, no. So, if I click drag, ayan siya. See? Okay, yan. If I click drag, at dito siya, ito yung point of point of reference niya. Okay. Para mag-rotate. Okay. All right. Now, how do we copy objects? Okay. How do we copy objects, guys? Sa pagkaalala nyo, ano yung mga practices natin para mag-copy? Mag-copy-paste.
Hold.
Sige. Go, Patty.
Hold Alt.
Hold Alt, yeah. Using an object.
Ang tawag dyan. Using selection tool.
Yeah, using the selection tool. Very good. So, one way of copying or duplicating objects, no, is copy Control C. Yan yung pinaka, ano eh, di ba? Ay, to. Yan. Under Edit. So, meron kang copy, Control C. Tapos, pag magpipaste, may mga options tayo. So, pwedeng by default or at least yung standard natin is Control V. Pero meron ding Control F, P, B pala. B for Bravo. And then paste and place based on all artboards. Okay. So you have Control C and then you can do a Control V or Control B, which is here. Ayan na siya, nasa likod. No? And then merong Shift Control V, Shift Control V. Okay, paste in place. And then, meron din daw, paste on all artboards. So, let's say, meron kang 5 artboards, meron kang logo. So, pwede kang mag-copy ng isang logo and then you paste it using this command, no? And paste it across all the artboards. Alright? So, you have that option to duplicate objects. Another way of doing it is what Patty has described. So you can select this object, use the selection tool to select this object, hold down Alt, no? So nagiging dalawang arrow yung cursor mo. Click drag anywhere you want. Release the mouse first before you release the key on the keyboard. Alright. Now, ang advantage niyang fact na pwede kang mag-alt, no? Is if let's say I'm creating this, okay? So I'll create a circle for the middle part of the flower. I'll create a single petal first, okay? Now with the single petal, ang objective natin is iikot natin yan para magmukhang flower, right? So I use the rotate tool. Click somewhere in the middle of the circle. Okay. Hold down Alt. Okay. Click drag and then release. Now, currently, ang selected na object is the second petal. Now, in Illustrator, there is a command called transform again. Okay. So, whatever you see here is also available here, right? So, meron tayong rotate, reflect, which are also available in the tools here. You have scale, which is also available in the tools here. And then you also have shear. Now, on top, there is a command called transform again. And what it's going to do is Illustrator will copy what you have done from this point to this point, applying it on the selected object. So let's do that. So go transform and then transform again. Okay. So inulit niya yung action mo between here to here. Okay. Now with this selected, I can do the same thing. But instead of right-clicking and going to transform and then transform again, gagawin ko na lang yung shortcut, which is Control D. So, I'll do that. Tapos, Control D lang ako ng Control D. Ayan. So, hindi ka na naghihirap na nagda-drag-drag o nagka-copy tapos nagro-rotate. Right? So, what else can you do with that? No? Very powerful yung transform na yun. So, kung ang idea is, you can, you can transform, you can apply the transform again, no? Again, ano ang transform action. So move is basically what we just did with this circle, no? Ito, yung selection, hold down alt, kinopy mo, minove mo. So transform again tayo, tingnan natin mangyayari. Then control D, ganyan siya. Okay. Now another is if we have an ellipse shape, okay, I can use the scale tool, hold down alt, sorry. Wait lang. This one, use the scale tool, hold down alt, release, okay, and then let's transform again. Ayan siya. Okay, so nagagawa niyang ganyan. Okay, so a-apply lang niya lagi ng i-apply sa current. Okay, if let's say I have a butterfly. Okay, yan, a butterfly. Okay. Reflect. Okay. And then hold down. Ayan. Wing pala to, wing. Okay. So, let's say ito. No? Gusto ko siyang, hindi pala applicable sa reflecto. Hindi pala applicable sa reflect. Kasi kapag reflect, walang sense yun. Sige, okay lang. So, for the sake lang. Okay. So, reflect. So, hold down alt, click drag. So, it reflects it. Then, you can do a control D. Kaya lang, bumabalik-balik lang. So, walang point kasi pumapatong lang pumapatong. So, hindi niya makikita. Ayan. Pero, ayan siya. Okay. Pero, yun yung transform again function niya. What else? Pwedeng, you can right-click on it instead of using the tools. Pwedeng shear. Okay, so shear, click. Yan, let's say yan. Okay, click, drag, hold down alt. Okay, para it creates a copy. Alright, and then let's try doing a control D. Yun. So, nagsistretch naman siya. Alright. So, yun. So, it depends on what you are trying to achieve at the end of the day. But most importantly, I just wanted you to show that it's a feature that you can maximize also. No? Let's say you created, let's say you create a circle. All right. You right click on it and then transform. So instead of using the tools over here, you can try going here, transform, and then let's say scale. Okay, scale. So when you get the scale window up, no, you can tick the preview para you have an option. Tapos you can, let's say, try changing yung uniform value to 90%. So, ibig sabihin, liliit siya. Click on copy instead of OK. Pag copy, dinoduplicate niya yung object, pero at 90%, but it's gonna be 90% smaller. But if you click OK, kung ano lang yung existing object or selected object, yun lang isa-scale down niya to 90%. Okay, so if I click on copy, alright, it creates a smaller circle that's 90% of the original size. And then I can do a control D. Ayan. Alright. Ayan siya. Okay.
May question po.
Yes.
Di ba po, parang, kumbaga, automated na yung ginagawa ni Illustrator pag yung, just sa tools, like, share and stuff. Ah, paano, ano po ba yun? Parang, nagva-vary din po ba yung distance do sa automation na nangyayari? Like, parang gusto ko may something na parang medyo malayo ng konti do sa original, parang ganun. Like yung circles, yung next circle ay medyo malayo dun sa or talagang parang constant yung
Constant,
repetition.
ano siya, nire-repeat lang niya kung anong ginawa mo the first time. So, let's say, dito, mahirap. Kasi, eto, mano-mano, pag tool, 'di ba? So, let's say, nagsiscale ka,
Mhm.
tapos gusto mo paliit. Drag ka, 'di ba? So, medyo uneven siya,
Opo.
right? Pero kung gusto mo ng very specific, then instead of using the tool, then you go to the, you go right click and then go to transform. Kasi dito, mas ano siya, mas measured.
Okay po.
Oo. So, pag sinabi ditong gusto mo siyang mas maliit ng 90% of the actual, then you can click on copy. Okay? So, 90% ginawa niya, niliitan niya by 90% yung circle. Ngayon na nakaselect to, Command D tayo, ginawa naman niya 90% din from this point to this point. And then, Control D ulit,
Ah,
from this point to this point, 90%. So, mas accurate yung measurement compared sa pag ginamit mo to, itong tools.
I see. Okay po. So,
Oo.
kung ano yung parang first na ginawa, yun yung kakopy niya. Okay. Sige po.
Oo,
Nagets ko na
oo.
po.
Kung ano yung, kunyari, pag move is kung anong distance ng pag-move mo the first time. Then, ika-copy lang niya ng ika-copy yun. Ganon.
Ah,
Dito, nagmukha siyang, eto, mukhang hindi pantay. Right? Correct?
Opo.
Parang hindi pantay. Parang hindi pareho ang distance. Right? Eto, kunyari
Mm,
to, parang manipis compared dito. Tama?
Opo. Opo.
Illusion siya. Because, when you do this, so for example, ito, no, gagawa tayo isa. Okay? Right click. Okay, transform. Merong skill. Okay. Meron ditong options. No, merong scale corner, scale stroke, and effects. So, try natin na i-click tong scale, stroke, and effects. Kasi dito, in-adjust niya, pero hindi niya ninipisan yung stroke width. Ayan. So, ito is in-adjust niya pati yung stroke. As it becomes smaller, it becomes the same. Ayan. Ayan. Numinipis na yung line niya. As opposed to
Mhm.
dito. Kasi hindi ka nag-scale eh. Hindi mo in-adjust. Habang lumiliit yung object, hindi mo rin in-adjust yung thickness ng stroke. Pero dito, in-adjust niya. Yan.
Mm.
Okay? Alright. Good questions. Okay. So, any other question?
Yun lang po
Yan
sa
lang.
akin.
Kerry. What about you, Patty? Walay? Nakamute ka, girl.
Ay, sorry po. Tinatry ko po siya ngayon.
Ah.
Kailangan po mag-start muna siya dun sa shape, no? Tapos yung scale tool po siya. Tama ba?
Yung kaninang demonstration, yes. Scale.
Okay. Scale
Oo.
tool.
Pero lahat nung basta
Control
ang
T.
tatandaan nyo is pagdating sa yung transform, kung ano yung nakikita natin dito, which is move, rotate, reflect, scale, at saka shear. applicable dyan sa apat na yan. Ay, 5 pala.
Okay.
5 na yan. Okay? Yan. So, for this exercise, there are 2 parts of this exercise. One is, we create this. This is the first demonstration that I made, no? Yung, you create the circle in the middle using the ellipse tool. Then, you can create the petal and then use the rotate tool to rotate it. No? And then, yan. Ito yung steps. You can follow the steps. It's Control D to repeat the transformation hanggang mabuo yung petal mo. The other exercise is basically to create the outline of this Coca-Cola bottle. Alright. So, here, I will just quickly demonstrate, no? Ito ang gagamitan natin. You may use the pen tool or you may use the basic shape tapos merge ka na lang ng shapes if you want. Pero half of the bottle lang. So, half of the bottle. Yan. So, let's say ito siya. Okay. Yan. Alright. So, once you have half of the bottle, your objective is to try and copy this on the other side. So, between the among the transformation tools, you will need the reflect tool. So, you click somewhere in the middle, hold down Alt, and then, wait lang. Let's make sure na this is selected now. So, click somewhere in the middle, hold down Alt, click drag, hold down Shift para maging straight siya. Then, you can select both of them and then use the Shape Builder tool to merge them. Okay. Yan. So, bakit may ganon? Okay. Kasi, hindi siya nag-overlap. Okay. So, what we can do is simply try and move this over here. Okay. To clean it up. And then, just move it over here. Okay, yan. So, pwede nyo pang linis-linisin yan. Pero ang point of this exercise is really understanding how the reflect tool works. Alright. Questions so far? Wale. These are pretty simple, but you can also use the time to try out the mga different transformation options natin in Illustrator. So, I'll give you 15 minutes to do this. No? 2 minutes, take a break. 3 o'clock officially start. 3:15 we'll continue our discussion. All right. So, let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, good job, guys. All right. So, Raf, saan ka nag-struggle?
Actually, nag-struggle po ako dun sa pagkaano nung anchor point. Medyo naano po ako, parang nakakalimot po ako na kailangan nga palang i-center siya where kung saan dapat yung reference point niya.
Correct. But it's
Pero
not
the
an
rest
anchor,
naman
but it's not an anchor point, ha? Kasi pag anchor point, editable point siya na gumagawa ng path. What you're referring to would be, or at least the better term would be reference point.
okay po.
Kasi
Sige.
pag reference point, yung anchor point, automatic, parang related siya sa mga path. Pero sa'yo, ano siya, parang siyang invisible point lang yun na hindi, ginagamit lang for either rotation, shear, at saka resizing and reflect.
Okay.
Yan, okay. Yeah, parang doon, no? But I think you'll get used to it naman. Practice lang.
Yes.
Alright, good job,
Okay.
good job. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Okay. What about you, Patty? Any struggles with exercise?
Ganun din po yung, ang tawag ng reference point.
Yes, the reference point. Mm-mm.
Hindi ko siya agad na-gets.
Medyo ano lang, sanayan lang. It takes a little getting used to. Okay. So, let me share my screen and then we'll proceed to somehow. Parang nagbago tong screen share ko at hindi ko na ma-share yung buong desktop ko. Okay. So we're done with the rotate and reflect commands. No? So our next exercise is the envelope distort. All right. So here we're gonna use the envelope distort exercise file. No, but before we do that, no, I just wanted to show you guys where you can find the rulers. If you want some additional guides yung in terms of aligning, no, so go to view and then there's rulers. Okay, you can show rulers or use the shortcut key, Control R, para lumabas yung rulers natin on the side at saka on top. Okay. Then another useful guide would be the show grid para meron ka nito. Kung gusto mo yung sobrang center or you know, you need some guides in terms of aligning stuff, no? You can show the grid. Okay. Now, another thing that can also be useful is, let's say you have two objects. Okay, so you have two objects. All right. You select both of them. All right. Meron tayong mga align options. So when you select objects, okay, on your control bar, you will see these buttons. Okay. So ito is horizontal align left. So if I click that, ayun, i-align niya dito sa itong dalawa to the left. This one is on the center. This one is right. Okay. And then ito, vertical. Alright. Ayan. So, ayan yung mga options natin. Okay. Alright. Alright. And then you have, pwedeng align to the selection. So, if you have an object that's selected, you can align, use these options, a-align mo siya sa selected object. Meron ding align to artboard and also align to keyboard. All right. So I just wanted to show you guys those things. All right. Now on to our next exercise. So our next exercise is all about envelope distort. No? So we are, in this exercise, we will learn how to create a flag, no, that's waved. Parang it's moving, no, or in motion. Okay. All right. Okay, so what is envelope distort? So where can you find that option? So you go object and then envelope distort. Okay. Envelope distort command, you have three options to choose from. You have make with warp, make with mesh, and make with top object. So we will demonstrate para you get to see what it looks like if you have an object that has envelope distort applied. So let's say I'll create the text. I'll use my name. All right, cats. Okay. Now I want to apply an envelope distort. So let's see how that works. So I click this this text. I go to object and then go to envelope distort, and then let's try make with warp first. So when you choose make with warp, it's a preset. Okay, it's a preset. So, you have a couple of styles that you can choose from. So, by default, ang makikita natin is art. So, tingnan natin kung ano ang naging itsura, no? So, nagkaroon ng arch, nagkaroon ng form yung cats. Okay? Pag arc lower, yan, arc lower, ganyan naman. Then, meron din tayong flag. Okay? Now, each style, you can further edit, no? Pwedeng adjust it to either apply the style horizontally or vertically. Okay? Then you can adjust the bend daw. Okay? All right. So you can either use the slider or type in the value. And then additional distortion options would be if you want to distort it horizontally at what percentage or vertically. No. Ayan. And when you do that, let's take a look at what the outline looks like. Ganyan lang siya. Okay. So, para siyang masking or mold. Minomold niya yung object into a particular shape. Okay. So, yan ang envelope distort na make with warp. Alright. Now, what if I want a different envelope distort? So, let's try make with mesh. Alright. So, pag make with mesh, ito naman yung window na mag-appear. So, you can specify the number of rows and columns. So, when you think mesh, para siyang net. No? So, if I click on preview, okay, that's how it looks like. Now, this is like an invisible path. Okay. It looks like an invisible path. No? It has points. Okay. Points na, just like any path, you can edit. No? So, using the direct selection tool, no, I can click drag. Click drag, no? Click drag a point. Okay. Make sure na ito yung nagiging solid color na box. Yun sa point na yun. Kasi ibig sabihin, selected yung point na yun. So, pwede kang mag-stylize something like this na parang medyo liquefied yung effect. Okay. Ayan. So, this does not only apply to text, but it also applies to other paths. So, kahit mga shapes. Okay. So, ayan siya. Alright. Okay, so that's make with mesh. Alright, so we're gonna demonstrate naman the third option. So again, with this object selected or this text selected, I go to object and then envelope distort and then make with top object. Make with top object. So, dahil sinabi niyang make with top object, ibig sabihin an object na nasa ibabaw ng selected na object. I hope that makes sense. I'll need to create a shape. So, let's say an ellipse shape. No? I'll put it on top of the word cats. So, I'll select both of them by creating a marquee using the selection tool. All right, so I have the cats selected and the ellipse shape, which is on top of cats. Okay, then I go to object and then envelope distort and then make with top object. So, ang gagawin niya is itatry niyang i-form or i-mold yung text ko according doon sa kung anong shape ang nasa ibabaw niya. Okay. Now, if I want to, let's say, change the name, no? Change the name, cats, no? Because it's inside of the circular shape, I can double click on it. Mapupunta tayo sa loob ng envelope. Okay, ito. Napupunta tayo sa isolation mode. Now, I can try changing the name to, let's say, Patty. Okay. Or say, change the name to Raphael. Raphael talaga. Okay, Raphael. Yan. and then click outside. All right. Is this something that you can resize? Yes, 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 yes. And is it only applicable to text? No, not at all. So let's say I created a shape, a star, for example, no? And then I want to apply envelope distort, make with warp. Okay, so ganyan siya. Alright. Alright. So, pwede mo pa siyang i-bend. So, again, it's not limited to text alone, but you can also use any paths that you create in Illustrator. Okay, so that's what's nice about it. Now, for our exercise, in view, fit artboard in window. Okay. So for our exercise, your challenge is to create a flag. Okay. So we will need to create a flag using shape tools, no, or shape builder tool, whichever you're comfortable with. Okay. Then you need to change the colors, no, accordingly using the swatches panel. So dito, kahit dito ka na lang, double click mo para you open the color picker because both of you are more familiar with Photoshop. That's how you change the foreground and the background, right? So you can choose a color or use the eyedropper tool if you want to. Okay, just to try and mimic the colors. All right, so once you have the entire flag created, so let's say I have this, I have two flags. I have a single flag, so two rectangular shapes, so red, blue, and then the other one is red. So, eyedropper ko na lang para mabilis. And then, medyo move ko lang here. Kasi OA naman sa haba. Okay. Then, I can just group them, no, para madali siyang mag-move at hindi siya nagagalaw na may misalign. Then, I'll create 3 stars. Of course, we already have a star tool. So, I'll create 3 stars. Use the yellow color, right? So I can click drag to make 3 of them, right? And then I need the sun, right? So circle, click drag, hold down shift para perfect circle. Okay. Ngayon, ang sabi, parang yung rays, gusto ko gayahin to. Or whatever kind of sun rays you want to do, it's fine. But I'll use the pen tool. So I'll click here, 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 here. Okay. And then I'll just make it a closed path. Okay. Now, using what I have learned previously, no, apply natin siya. Then I can use the rotate tool. Click somewhere in the middle. Hold down Alt, click drag. Okay. Ilan mo to? Then, Command D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, di ba? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. 7. Hindi ko alam actually kung ilan. Pero 7 yata. Ayan. So, pwede kong i-adjust lang ng konti. Ayan. Okay. Then, I can select this. Ay, nasama yung rectangle. Select. Right-click. Group. Okay. Resize ko lang. Alright. And then, kailangan ko ng rectangle, triangle shape here. So, I can just choose to do it like this. Okay. Make it white. No. I'll just move this here. move this here. Up, left, here. Okay. Ayan. Use the arrow key. Yan. And then I can move the sun, adjust the size. Arrange the front para nasa harap siya. Okay. And then the sun, of course. Ay, the stars. Ayan. Ako. Move natin to. Front. Delete ko na lang. Mas madali to. Kasi na-resize ko na siya. Ayan. So, lakayan na natin ng konting sun. There. So, I have my flag. Okay. So, group ko na lang siya ulit. And then, what I can do is to make it a wave. No, I can select the object, go to envelope to start, and then make with warp. Choose flag. Ayan. And then, adjust it na lang. Ayan. That's it. Okay, so that's your exercise for the next 17 minutes. All right. Questions so far? Good. I think you're working on it. Okay, push, 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 and push. Okay, kindly share your screens. All right. Okay. So, do you have questions so far with envelope the start? Wala naman. All right. Okay, good, good, good. All right. So, let me share my screen real quick. Okay, so we're done with rotate and reflect, envelope to start. Now we move to blending tool or command. All right. So here we'll learn the blend command, no? Then how to manipulate artwork. Basically, kung ano yung natutunan natin in the past exercises, we will also apply. All right. So let me just open a new document. Teka, change ko yung switch screens in Illustrator. Okay, all right. So blend. All right. So let's say I have two objects. Okay, I have two rectangular shapes, no, or squares. All right. Now, with these two objects, I can click on this tool. So it's called blend tool. When you double click on it, no, it opens its context menu. For blend options, you have three choices. Okay, so you have three choices. One is smooth color. Two is specified steps. Okay, and then three is distance. Okay, so let's choose smooth color first and demonstrate that. So I need to move over a particular point along the path, okay? So kapag walang point na identify or na detect yung cursor natin, yung cursor natin looks like a white box. But when it detects a point, no, it becomes a black box. Okay, so it means that you can choose that. So I can click on a point, and then on the other object, I click on another point. No, so balik natin again. Mouse over a point on the first object. Okay, for the blend. All right. So pag nag-mouse over tayo, it becomes a black square. Yung cursor, and there's an asterisk. So, ibig sabihin nun, it's gonna start. No, that's the starting point of your blend. So, click on that, and then click on the second object, no, and then over a particular point. So, again, it's a black box. But this time, nagkaroon ng plus sign. So, ibig sabihin, it will blend with that object. Okay, so I click. All right. Okay. Bakit walang Ulitin ko May manangaklik ako. Okay. So, ayan. So I'll use this, click here, click on this. So if Illustrator is not behaving the way it should behave, so the most common um, reason for that is there are damaged preferences no in the program. So what you need to do, I sent it in the chat group, no, so you need to reset it. So you'll have to hold down Alt Control Shift sa Windows as it launches the program. So that's what I'm doing right now. Now it works. Okay. So just keep the notes here dun sa group chat natin. I'll also make sure na lang na I post it. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so blend. All right, so we'll create two objects. Okay, let's try changing the second object's color. Okay, so let's change it to pink. All right. Now I have this circular shape that's in black color and then this one in pink. Now we'll use the blend tool. Okay, so double click on it. I'll change it to smooth color and then click OK. So I click on this button over here and then over here. So what it did was it blended the two objects. Okay, according to the point, no? So smooth color siya. Now what happens if you blend, double click on it, change the spacing to specified steps. So let's say 5. No, I'll just indicate 5. Okay. Click OK, click on a point and another point here, no? Then it actually creates 5 steps to try and put in between the two objects. Okay. So let's try another one. Two shapes. No? Double click. And then ngayon naman, distance. No? So let's say 3 points yung distance niya. Click here, and then there. Okay, so that's how it looks like. You can select the second object no, using the direct selection tool and then change the color. No, para ganyan siya, yung itsura niya. Okay. When you zoom in, okay, let's try and add a stroke color. No? Ayan, okay. Para mas kita siya. So when you zoom in, basically ang sinet natin is yung specify, yung distance niya in between the object. So it will create a copy, no? Ang sinet yata natin was, 3 points, no? So 3 points. So 3-point distance yan. Nag-create siya ng multiple copies. Alright. Pero, pathwise, if you do Control Y, no, 2 colors lang siya. Muntik na mabasa yung keyboard ko. 2 colors, 2 objects lang siya. Yung original object. Pero binigyan ka niya ng illusion na marami siya. Okay. Now, if I switch back to outline to check out the path, okay, it actually created a path. So, on top of the 2 objects that we created na binlend natin, no, it also created a path in the middle. Okay. Now, this is a live path, but it's non-printable. Hindi natin siya nakikita, hindi rin siya magpapakita kapag pinrint. So I go back to the regular view. Okay. Now using my pen tool, okay, I'll add another point. Okay. Use my direct selection tool to click drag that point. And that this is what is going to happen. So parang naglagay siya ng corner. Okay. Now on top of that, no, using the anchor point tool, click drag. Okay. And you can, that corner, you can change it to a curve. All right. So, yan. All right. Okay. So, Same then if you choose the other two options that you see here. Alright. Color at saka distance. Alright. So let's say you have two different objects. Let's see what happens. So you have a rectangular shape, no? And then let's say you have an ellipse shape. Okay. And then let's change the color to say yellow. Okay. Or green. Medyo greenish yellow. Okay. And then we choose smooth color. Okay, so let's click here and then click on this. Ayan. So it will blend and morph in from square to a circular shape. But at the same time, it also blends the color, no? From maroon to medyo yellowish green. Yan. So smooth color. And say Patty wants to change itong shape na to, no? You want to try and stretch this side here. Okay, let's see what happens. Using the direct selection tool, you click on that point, click drag. Okay. So mag-a-adjust siya accordingly. Alright? So, same din dito, no? Yan. A-adjust din siya accordingly. Okay. So, on top of the tool itself, no, let's change this to blue. Okay. On top of this, no, there's also another way of applying or blending objects. So you select both of the objects, go to object, and then blend. Ayan. So meron tayong blend options here, no? Pwedeng smooth color, specified steps, at saka distance. Okay. So let's say specified steps is 5. Go back, object, blend, and then make. Okay. Meron din siyang shortcut key. Because we put in 5 steps for specified steps, it created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 duplicates na it's morphing from the square going towards the shape of a circle. Okay. On top of that, it also blended the colors. Okay. Now, let's see, I created a path. Okay. Ayan, path. Kasi, kaya ganyan ang itsura niya. It's because fill ang kulay. So, i-switch natin to itong color, no? Itong blue, ginawa natin siyang stroke instead of fill. So, ganyan na itsura niya. Okay. Now, what if itong blended objects natin, gusto natin i-follow yung path nito? Okay. So, pwedeng gawin yon. So, we select both objects. Okay. And then go to object, blend, and then replace spine. Kasi ang tawag natin sa mga lines between or paths na hindi nagpa-print, no, between two blended objects is called a spine. So we can change by selecting the new spine at saka yung blended objects and then choose replace spine. Yan. So, finalo naman niya yung path na yon. Alright. So, again, let's take a look at how the path looks like, and it looks like this. Okay. Pero, ang dami mo siyang nakikita visually. Alright. So, it's basically creating that illusion. Okay. So, this is called like a live effect. Okay. So, it's blend. All right. Now, in our exercise, so we will use blend tool exercise. So, from the Google Classroom. All right. So, first we will create this bubble, no? So, at the end of the exercise, ito ang gusto ko makita. So, we'll need to create 2 objects, okay, or 2 shapes. One
Hello?
is a circle. Yes.
Ay, sorry po. Yung ano kasi yung tumawag bisita ko, sorry po. Di pala nakamute.
Okay, okay. Sige, sige. Carry. All right. So, you need to, ano, okay. So, you need two objects. So, one is a circular object. No? Itong circle. Ito yung outline ng ating bubble. And then, kailangan natin gumawa ng highlight, which is ganitong shape. So, gagawa ako ng circle. Ay. Yan yung malaking circle natin. Then, gagawin ko siyang blue. So, we'll remove the stroke kasi wala siyang color, no? And then, itong fill na white, babaguhin natin into blue. Okay. And then, next is we're gonna create this curved shape, no? So, I can start with, zoom in, no? I'll start with circular shape. And then gagawin ko lang is use the direct selection tool and then click on this point. Okay, wait. Click on this. Yan, para medyo curved siya. Okay. Ayan. Alright. Pero gagawin ko dito is white. So, i-aangulo ko lang ng konti. No? Pero liitan ko pa ng konti. Yan. Para ito yung highlight natin. So, i-move natin dito. Change this to white. Okay. Then, we can choose to select both. No? Pwedeng both of them. Go to object and then blend and then change this to smooth color first. Let's see what happens. No? Go to object again, blend, and then make. Ayan na siya. Nice, no? Kung gusto mo siya medyo translucent, so let's say meron tayong tree branch. Okay. Okay. Pag pinasok natin to sa ibabaw, arrange, bring to front. No? Pag pinasok natin, walay, di ba? Opaque siya. So, ibig sabihin, very solid yung color niya. No? So, pwede tayong gumamit ng direct selection. No? Kasi, once you blend objects, para siyang nakagroup. So, you can select this, no? Double click on the bigger circle, and then you can change the opacity. Naka-isolation mode ako, selected lang yung malaking circle. Okay. You can change the opacity. Then click outside. Ayan. Ayan. Tapos copy paste. Diba? Or alt. Okay. So, ayan. Alright. Okay. Ganda. Okay. So, question so far, guys? Walay. Okay. Medyo madali pag pinapanood ang demo. So, tingnan na natin once you start doing it. Okay. You might have questions along the way. All right. So, again, the file is blend tool exercise. I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay. So, here, I created 3 shapes. Control Y. Control Y. Okay, 3 shapes. So, one is a square, a circle, and a star. Okay, so I blended all 3 using the blend command. Okay. Pero nag-specify ako ng steps. 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to this point. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to this point. Okay. So, again, itong mga frames na to or itong items na to, dati sa Adobe Flash, nire-recognize yan as a single frame. Pag nag-export tayo, file export, and then export as, tapos Swift, no? So, ginamit natin to. Okay, Swift. open, meron ditong option that says animate blends. No? Either build or sequence. So in this case, I'll choose sequence. Click OK. And then let me open my file. Yung, ayan, okay. Share ko yung screen ko ulit. Nawala kasi yung share screen. Okay, yan. So, kita niya na. Nag-animate. Nakita
Apo.
niyo ba? Nakita niya? Okay. So, that came out of simply blending objects. Tapos in sequence, so parang step by step, sunod-sunod, moving forward. Hindi siya yung nagbi-build. Okay? So, yan yung naging advantage before ni Blend Tool. I don't think it's being recognized in After Effects, sadly, at the moment. No? Pero you can expand, no? Another thing na you can do is expand it. So, select ko to share my Illustrator, no? Kasi dito, again, hindi editable yung objects na yan, right? So, go back to outline preview, okay? Kasi tatlo lang yung objects natin and then nag-create lang siya ng non-printable path, no? Para for us to modify in case we want to modify the spine. Alright. Now, if let's say you want to parang expand this further, okay, you can release to sequence. Ay, mali. Di pala. Okay. You can go object and then expand. Okay. And then click on OK. And then i-expand niya yan. Object by object. Ayan. Ito. Object by object. So, yun yung isang na-miss ko lang na part. Okay. So, yan. So, all this, then you can release 2 layers in sequence. Para pagdating sa After Effects, then you can identify or isa-isang frame or isa-isang layer, pwede mo na siyang pwede mo na siyang i-convert to frames in After Effects. Ayun. Okay? Question so far? Wala pa?
po.
Wala pa naman. Okay. So, ito yung parang yung dinemo natin nung, I think it was day 2. Day 2 na nag-open tayo sa After Effects. Alright. Okay. So, for our last topic, it's basically a take-home exercise. But I'll discuss it, no? In our... Ay, naku. Ang hassle na to. Wait. Let me open the Google Classroom again. So, let me share my screen. No. Let me share my screen. Okay. Now, do you see the Google Classroom?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. All right, good. So far we've covered all three, no? Rotate and reflect, at saka yung transform again na command. Envelope, distort, blending tool and command. And then applying effects na tayo. So, for applying effects, no? So, I added a useful link here. Medyo lengthy siya. Okay, do you see this? This link, website? Work
Yes.
with effects. Okay, good. So this is a bit lengthy, but that's basically from the help guide of Adobe Illustrator. Now it talks all about effects in Illustrator. Now how to apply, but we'll demonstrate naman how to do this. Then there's raster effects, so effects that generate pixels rather than vector data. So yan yung mga drop shadow, inner glow, outer glow, even gradients are considered as raster effect. Kasi again, it generates pixels dahil merong smooth gradation of colors. Okay, so anything to do with those types of colors, then they're considered as raster effects. All right. And there's a lot more information about the raster effects here and its options na you can change and adjust. So when you have time, please make sure to read through it. No? So again, it's in your Google Classroom. All right. Now, this other link now I'm gonna share with you. This is already the extensive list of effects available in Adobe Illustrator. All right, and it gives you a description or what it's going to do when you choose the effect. Okay, so yan, parang it's a useful guide for you to use. No? So you may print it out, or um, you may try it out. No, best to try it out. Okay. So where can we find all the effects available? So it's under the effect menu. So you'll see na nagkakaroon tayo ng uh, uh, divided categories. So you have Illustrator effects, and you have the Photoshop effects. So basically, it's just telling you na etong mga to ay hugot from Photoshop. Alright? So under Illustrator effects, you have 3D, convert to shape, no, crop marks, distort and transform, path, okay, pathfinder, rasterize, stylize, SVG, filters, and warp. If you need yung mga simple shadows, drop shadows applying it, it's under stylize. Okay. Now, earlier we talked about attributes of a shape, right? So let's create a rectangle shape. Okay, a rectangle shape. So there are two ways of color. There are two parts of a shape, no, or a path that you can apply color to. So you have fill, which is the inside. Nakikita niyo ba yung screen ko, guys?
Yes po.
Okay, cool. Alright. Pero wala akong nakikitang video kasi. Nawala yung video. Hindi pala ako naka-video. That's why. Okay. Alright. So, you have this shape now. So, you have the inside color, which is the fill. And then, you have another attribute that's called a stroke. Okay. With this topic, no, we'll need to open a panel that's called appearance. Okay. Yeah. So this will show you the attributes. So again, you have your stroke, you have your fill. Okay. So for all 4 sessions, we just simply identified a single, so one stroke, one fill. Pero as a matter of fact, all your paths can have multiple fills and multiple strokes. Okay? Pwede kang magkaroon ng 5 hindi. Gawin na lang natin 3. 3 stroke. At pwede rin tayong magkaroon ng 3 fill. Okay? Yan. Alright. So, anong purpose in life niyan? Okay. So, easier to start with stroke. Okay. So, let's say I have 3 strokes and I have 3 fills. Right? Think about stacking order. Kung paano natin siya dinidiscuss. Kung ano yung on top, yan yung pinaka nasa ibabaw. Okay? Yan yung pinaka visible sa'yo. No? And then at the bottom would be pinaka likod. Okay? So let's say itong stroke natin dito is we change it to red. Okay? And then change the width. Alright? So itong appearance is always going to show you the attributes of a path. So let's say, or description of the selected object or set of objects. Okay, so let's say ito gawin nating 10. Okay, so this allows you to change the width. Then the second stroke, let's change it to green. Okay, and then change this to, let's say, 5. All right, and then this one we can probably change it to white, and then change this to 2. Okay. Now let's zoom in. Ayan. So, ganyan ang effect niya. Alright. Okay, pag tinignan natin kung ano yung tsura ng path, hindi tatlong objects yan. But instead, it's just a single object. But you added two more strokes to it to create this kind of look. Alright. Okay. Now, what's great about this feature in Illustrator is because you have three strokes, individual strokes, you can, in the appearance panel, then you can actually choose a particular stroke and apply an effect. Okay, so if I select stroke 1, yung pinaka-topmost, I go to effect. And then maybe I can try the stylize and then go to scribble. All right. You get this window, a preview. Okay. Click on OK. All right. And then I zoom in lang a bit, So, yung effect na yun, na-apply mo lang on this stroke. Okay. You click on this button, it expands and makikita mo merong may letters na FX. So, it indicates na an effect was applied on this particular stroke. All right. And if you want to edit this, you can still edit it by clicking on the name of the effect, maybe childlike, or you want something more. Yan. Okay. So, ganon siya. Alright. Now, I can choose the second stroke. Alright. And then, I want to say, apply a different effect. Okay. So, like go stylize and then siguro scribble ulit. Pero a different scribble this time. Let's say dense. Okay. Ayan. No? I can still play with the sliders over here. Change probably the stroke width to say 2. Yan. And then click OK. Ayan. Alright. So, yan yung advantage niya. Alright. Now with fill, ano pa bang pwede natin gawin? No? So, you can do the same thing then dun sa third stroke. No? You can choose that. Let's say you want to remove the scribble. Okay. So, ayaw mo na nito. Alright. Click drag to the trash can para ma-delete siya. Okay. And I think pwede naman din na select mo siya and then click this para ma-remove mo lang yung effect na yun. No? So, yan ang maganda sa Illustrator. Ngayon, ano bang pwede natin gawin sa fill? So, ito yung topmost na fill, no? I go effect and then stylize and then scribble. Alright, so let's change this to say childlike. Okay, so ayun, nakita natin may parang lumitaw, no? Try natin i-change yung second fill to a different color para mas kita. Ayan, pink. Right? Na gusto mo, apply rin tayo ng iba pang scribble effect, no? So, actually, pwedeng kahit anong effect. Pero let's try a different scribble para mas visible siya. Let's say more. Ayan, okay. And then you can, let's say you want to change, opacity. So, change natin tong pink, change natin yung opacity. Click mo yung opacity for that particular fill. Change it to, ayan, 76. Okay, so yan. And then change natin yung bottom, yung pinakalikod na fill to a different color. Say black. Ayan. Alright. So parang ang complicated niyang gawin, but if I take a look at just the path, it's just a simple square, no? But it gave you the illusion of having so many busy things here, right? And you did not have to create like 6 objects para lang iba-iba yung style, no? isang object lang siya. Pero yan ang power ni appearance, no? And how paths are treated in Adobe Illustrator. You may have multiple strokes, multiple fills. You can apply effects on each of the attribute, no? For each attribute, you can change the opacity. All right. You can even have different multiple effects on a single stroke. So let's say I add a drop shadow. So under the single stroke, meron kang scribble effect at saka drop shadow applied. Alright, okay. Question so far? Wala? Okay. So, dito, magpapasok tayo ng another panel. So, nakita natin ang purpose ni appearance. So, appearance, it will show you the number of strokes, the number of fills. Within the appearance panel, you can select one or two, okay, and then apply the effect. You can edit the effect using this, right? I will now introduce you to a new or to another panel, which is called graphic styles. Okay, graphic styles. All right. So let me move to a blank space first. All right. So a graphic style, no, there are presets that you can choose from. There's a graphic style library. And then you can choose, let's say, artistic effects. Okay, and this will appear, no? So if I select an object and say I want to use this, click here, and it applies that effect altogether. Okay, then you can choose, let's say, ito, graffiti. Okay, and it applies that for you. Okay, you can choose this. All right, so it's actually a set of naghang. Okay, so it's actually a set of effects, patterns, colors na it's a set that you can apply to a single object. All right, so that is graphic styles. That's the best way to describe it. Now, given that, let's say, it took you a long time or even a short time, no? Pero it took you a couple of minutes to do this, no? And you see, parang na-foresee mo na gagamitin mo siya in the future. No? So, parang gusto mo siyang gamitin in the future. O gusto mo, nagawa mo siya on one object, nag-create ka ng isa pang object, no? Gusto mong gawin dito sa object na to, the same thing. No? Paano mo gagawin yun? Now, all you have to do, guys, pag nagawa mo na to, drag and drop it to the graphic styles panel. And then select this object, click this, and it will apply the same set of effects. Diba? Ang saya-saya. Alright. Question so far? None? Okay. So, we'll officially end our discussion here and continue tomorrow. What we're going to do is, what we're gonna do tomorrow is a billiard ball. Okay. So, using the 3D effect in Adobe Illustrator. So we're gonna start with that tomorrow. Okay. So, it's this one. All right. So, we'll do that together tomorrow. Okay, first thing tomorrow. So for the meantime, okay, so again, please make sure, let me stop my screen share. Guys, and happy Thursday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye
Bye-bye
po.
po.
Thank you.
Thank you.